What's good, YouTube? Mario Devon back with yet another video. So this is probably going to be my most disorganized video ever. And the reason why is because I just have all my things scattered all over the place. But I wanted to give you an overview of what's in my camera bag. I'm gonna give you a little bit of an update. I've completely switched from the Canon system and I've fully invested in the Sony system. Every what's in my camera bag video, you know how it starts. It always starts with your camera bag. This was my DB, aka douchebag. All right, they rebranded. All right, I like the douchebag name better, but they rebranded because they wanted to be more marketable. All right, this was my Backpack Pro. The Backpack Pro also has a camera insert that matches it, but this camera bag has got a little too small. So I have upgraded that camera bag to, this is the Ramverk Pro. This is a 32-liter bag. And of course, you have to have a good enough camera insert. And this is the Ramverk camera insert. That is the large size camera insert Pro. You see, I think it is, I use stick like, stick like I like, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted a camera bag that had the thickness and just the, oh my God, this is just getting so inappropriate. I wanted a camera bag that had the thickness that could easily cover a lens, all right? Because my old one, my new lenses are kind of very big. All right, so what I want to do first is I want to use this camera insert and we're going to go one by one. We're going to talk about the different pieces of gear that goes into the camera bag. So let's talk about the body. So since I'm fully committed to this here Sony system, all this here, let's completely go into it and talk about the bodies that I've chosen. Obviously, in front of me is the Sony FX3. You already know this is my main video camera. I love this camera. This is the camera I've been shooting with for about 2 years now, primarily for video. Over here is a surprise camera that I ain't even really told y'all about much. It's the Sony A7CR. That was an accident. I mean, there's a whole story behind it. I originally was trying to buy the A7C II to match my other camera that I'm going to tell you about. So body number 2 is the A7CR. Someone made a mistake when I ordered it. Don't worry about it. Camera number 3 that I keep in my camera bag is the A7 IV. This is my favorite, hybrid camera so far as being able to shoot video and photo. Shoots really good. And this is your everything. This is your do everything camera. But the reason why I have these two A7, these alpha cameras, is one of them is mainly for a second video camera. And sometimes I use it as a BTS camera. So I like to have, 3 cameras around me just in case I want to shoot, 2 cameras and then still have another camera for BTS. So again, 3 cameras, Sony FX3. We also have that Sony A7CR. We have the A7 IV. Now let's talk lenses. Lenses are kind of all over the place, all right? So right now I'm shooting on the 24-70 Sigma. Now keep in mind, I used to have an old EF version of it from Sigma, and that was just an older version. So now I have the updated Sony E-mount version, and it is just substantially better. I just did not know. Like I just didn't know how much lens technology had evolved over the years. Considering that my EF, it's loud. You can hear the autofocus from a mile away. The second zoom lens that I mainly use is actually this here. I still need to do a review on this. This is the Tamron 20-40 millimeter 2.8. On this camera here, I have the 17-28 Tamron. But the thing about it is this, to me, is a more usable focal length. I don't typically use 17. All right, I just don't. I'm not shooting that wide all the time. Only time I'm shooting that wide is for real estate. And typically if I'm shooting real estate, I'm gonna use something like a 14 millimeter, okay? Because we're trying to make sure it's super wide. We're trying to, trick people into buying houses, okay? So we wanna make sure they think it's big. All right, that's a whole other conspiracy, don't worry about that. When you have a lens that goes from 20 to 40, you have a wide angle lens, but you also have like a standard focal length lens that is also built in, especially from 35 to 40. All right, it took me a while to invest in the G Master system. I really was like, man, my little Sigma 35 from from 7 years ago can do the same thing. I was wrong. All right, I was wrong. I didn't know what I was talking about because I started renting these lenses. When I really got into the Sony system, I started renting these G Master lenses and I noticed a big difference. The first one I bought was the 35 millimeter G Master. And I'm gonna tell you something, the way it renders colors, the way it's so sharp, it's super sharp. Sigmas are sharp too, but this one right here is fast, it's sharp. And obviously if you're doing things like video, image stabilization, it is incredible because Obviously, the native Sony lenses actually work when it comes to breathing compensation and better stabilization. 35mm 1.4, it is probably my favorite lens that I own. My second favorite lens that I own, I guess we'll say it, is going to be this here 50mm, okay? The 50mm G Master 1.4. I saw how, listen, man, all right, we doing all right in life. But the amount of money it was to get the 1.2 was ridiculous. Plus, I love the fact that the 50mm is the same size as a 35. But now, obviously, the lens hood here is going to be bigger. But as far as like when you get them both in hand, they're pretty much the same size. And that's one thing I can say about Sony that they have really got on lock because of the E mount being so much smaller than a lot of things like the L mount and of course, the OG EF mount from Canon. You have smaller lenses, just like this here. This is a small lens. I love having smaller lenses. All right, I get it. Like, we like to have beefy cameras, but I'm just saying, like, when we're carrying all these heavy things and, you know, we old and my back starts to hurt, I like having lighter setups. So the fact that these lenses are very compact, love it. Okay, so I've brought over 2 honorable mention lenses. This is my Sigma 28-70. Sometimes I need a zoom lens, not only, you know, for my photo camera, but also for my video camera. So that's where I have the 24-70 for the video. And sometimes I use this 28-70 if I'm shooting both photo and video at the same time. This usually happens for my fitness stuff. And I just want to get good shots really quickly. This here, it was a choice, man. Let me tell you something. The 85mm focal length is I'm doing a video just talking about this lens. The 85mm focal length is such an underrated lens to use. I've brought this thing with me on many shoots now. This is very new, so I've only owned this for about a month, but I've already been using it. And when I throw this on my FX6, on my FX3, and it's just like the amount, it's just a different look. Don't underrate the use of that 85mm, but this is another lens that I've added to the kit. This is substantially smaller than the Canon EF 85. That's like probably double the size of this. It is kind of ridiculous, again, how small this 85 is, and it's very beefy. Love it. I love that it has a 77mm filter thread. It's not like that 82 or the 86. Like, this is usable. And the fact that it is nearly the same size as my 50mm, I mean, you can't go wrong with this. Obviously, the lens hood, because it is such a big focal length, the lens hood is ginormous. I don't get that part. That's the only negative about this thing. It's just the lens hood is just so big. Okay, so now that I got these lenses in the camera bag, now I can tell you about the other stuff that I have. Of course, I have the DJI Mics. I'm using them right now. I love those for audio. You'll be shocked at how many corporate people, whenever I'm doing my corporate jobs, when I just open this thing up and I hand this mic to them, they're baffled. There's no cable and it's so small. I would say if you're doing corporate work, man, DJI Mics, you can't go wrong with them. To me, I always like to keep the bag with me because I like to store things like lavaliers if I need it into this bag. Now, in this bag, I actually have a different set of lavaliers. I love these even more. The reason why I'm going to show you is that sometimes you do need this lavalier. But what I love the most about this one is it's not latched on like you would see any other lavalier mic. It's actually magnetic. So when I take this off, you can actually take the clip off of it, put it back on. It is magnetic. I love this thing here. This is actually extremely affordable. I've tried these out. They sound very good. I'll make sure to put these in the link down below, but they come in a set of 2. They have the magnetic clips. You can replace the clips. Love using these. So to show you, I have the A7 IV here. The FX3 actually goes here, the body, and I'm going to put the body of the A7CR here. So that is my 3 camera setup. From there, it's a lot of little honorable mentions here and there. On this side, you have storage in this bag, as you can see. So on this side, I have my SD cards. Here, I'm going to put more things here, but I do just have an extra tripod plate. And up here, I just have some, some quarter threads, and I have like USB-C, stuff like that. So this thing here is my SmallRig travel tripod. You will be shocked at how often this thing gets used. This thing is a great way to vlog if you need to, but I mainly use this for my BTS camera, and sometimes I use it on jobs when I need a second tripod. Let me show you why. Obviously, this thing is very small, but I just want to show you just how long it can go. As you can see, it has the length of a usable tripod, all right? And it comes back down to here, and it goes out this slim. I use this all the time, as a second tripod for my second camera sometimes. This goes on the side of the main bag. Of course, we're working with the insert right now. I'm just gonna put this right here. I also keep a pair of foldable headphones with me. These are beat to crap. Like, they're falling apart as far as like the material, but they still work very well. Have really good noise isolation. So you just throw them on, good foldable, just slide them in here. Just put my audio stuff in this section because I like to have my audio things all together. Again, I'm using my 24-70, that 24-70 would go here. And I have this entirely empty compartment right here. The reason why I have that empty compartment is because maybe I want to store other things. I just like to have flexibility in what I need to store, maybe another lens. This could be where I put my 85 lens if I feel like it. This could also be where I put a drone if I feel like it, because this thing here is deep enough to actually put something like a drone in. And that was an important part of why I wanted this specific bag, is I just wanted space to do more. So this is just the insert. Let's get to the insert with the actual bag. Again, I am excited to use this bag. This bag looks great. Like, I can't wait. Again, I've had one of these bags, these douche bags, sorry, DB. I've had one of these for 3 years. Again, this is my OG that's down here on the floor. I've kept it in the shot just so you can see how much smaller it is. So on this side, this is where I'm gonna put my tripod. So when I pull this here, I can actually link these things off. You will see in this bag, it has a lot of these hooks on it, and they are all branded. It is kind of crazy how all out they went. So what I can do here is take that tripod, put it on the side, and all I have to do is hook it in, boom, it's there. Insert this here, tighten it down, make sure it's good, make sure this is folded down, and that is on there. So the other thing I wanted to show you is just all these different hooks. All these hooks that you see here in these latches, that is just to make sure that the bag is securely connected to your body if you need it to be that connected to you. For me, I don't need it hugging me. All right, I don't want my bag hugging me. I don't need that. Like, it's already enough. These shirts hugging me enough. Golly, I don't need more hugging me. Keep in mind, this is a backpack, so I'm gonna show you something. We're gonna open this thing up, gonna let it come out. What you can see is obviously all of these little, little storage. But what I do love is if you just use this as a regular backpack, you have this storage space. So yeah, I love this because obviously you can store a lot of things in here, but then from there you can, roll up some clothes, add your little clothes here, your joggers, your socks, just little things like that. Of course, on this side, you can even do it again with another tripod, or you can do something like a water bottle. This is likely where I'm gonna put my water bottle. Obviously, you have more storage down here. I already have a couple of things inside of it, and gonna use this for sure to store some things, but just to give you a glimpse of that. Now, we have it open. All I have to do is take this camera insert, pick it up. I want you to keep in mind, I'm using this as a camera bag. So when you're using this, you're gonna lose this pocket right up here that I was showing you. You're using it as a camera bag, but that is okay. I already knew that. I already know how these bags go. Again, I've had these bags before, so I know that you're gonna lose this top compartment. Now, if you don't wanna lose this top compartment, guess what? There are other sizes of this insert that can actually come here. If you have a smaller setup, that way you can keep this top compartment while also having a camera insert. This is the large size camera insert, so it's going to take up majority of the space in here. So one of the things I love to keep in my bag is going to be a monitor. You can see that I have a cage on it. This is the Nisi cage, but the monitor is the Portkeys LH5P version 2. All right, you control the camera. All Sony cameras can be controlled with this. I don't use it for that. I use it because this is a very affordable, monitor. I don't need it to record like my Atomos Ninja 5 that I have right here. I just need it to look really good. And these monitors for the price look really good. Again, that top compartment is here. This is why I use the top compartment. I just need it for my monitor. Put that in there, we're good to go. The other thing I keep in my camera bag are the Nisi True Color Variable ND filters. I have 2 of them in here, but I also have some other ND filters in here. But I have these in here, and I love this case because I can just easily store the filters that I need. And these are the 2 to 9 stop versions. I have a 77mm and a 67mm, because, switching to the Sony system, you don't have to have them any larger than that, honestly. So I just slide that in here, actually, and boom, it's in there. At the bottom of this setup inside, I always keep like a small monitor mount. This one is from SmallRig. You've seen that monitor mount in many of my videos talking about rigs. And of course, I have my HDMI cable that can actually go in here with the monitor if I wanted to. Now, this is something new. I want to get better about storing my cables. Even though I just put my HDMI cable in the bag, I want to get better at storing my cables. I have, things like step-up rings, more HDMI cables, and I also have some USB-C cables in there. So what I've done is I slid that bag safe in here, right on top of this ND filter, so I'm able to just kind of pull this out. Monitor mount back in. I also have this mount for my phone. This one is actually really nice. I'll make sure to put this one in the link down below. Think about it, it is quite expensive for a phone mount, but sometimes I don't want to, just take out my camera to do things. Sometimes I just want to take out my phone, maybe to get a quick shot, and I use that iPhone 14, not the 15 like you newbies. Y'all cool kids have that. I don't have that because I felt like it made more sense to buy something like the DJI Pocket 3, which I did. Review coming on. We're almost there, all right? So I do have another cable. This cable actually goes to my Portkeys monitor. I never know when I need it, so I always keep it on me just in case I have a V-mount power option. Last thing that you're gonna see go in here just directly is going to be this side handle from SmallRig. I love it. There's one of those locking, side handles that you could put right on the side of a NATO rail. It's gonna go directly on the cage. I have cages on every single one of my cameras, and of course that makes them larger, but I love having cages just in case for the protection of the camera, but also, just in case I wanna use like a top handle or a side handle. So that goes right in here very easily, like Legos, it's in there. So all I have to do now is I'm gonna go ahead and zip this up. I'm gonna zip this one up. I will say the only negative about this bag that I've seen is I always love to have a two-sided zipper. So we got that in, boom, boom, that's in there. So now all I have to do is bring this over. So honorable mention, I always make sure I keep a pair of pliers on me. The reason why, it's been many a times on set where I've needed to, obviously we have the multi-tool, which I have a SmallRig multi-tool. We have Allen keys, we have all those things, but sometimes you just need an old school, just agrarian, barbaric way of getting things loose, and always keep the pliers on me just in case. Of course, because I'm rocking Sony, I keep a lot of these on me. Obviously, I'm running these, 3 Sony bodies with me. I typically have 6 batteries with me just in case. I never know. So typically where I'm going to put my batteries are going to be in here just because it's pretty easy storage. Obviously, they're going to be in something like a case let me show you the case. Typically, this is what you're going to see. I love to have these JJC, I think they're JJC, cases, put it in there, boom, 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 snap it down, there you go. And again, we have more inserts in here. We have it for the other cameras. I also can add another lens. That's likely going to be where the 24-70 goes. And then I can put other lenses in here too. Say for instance, I wanted to bring an extra, lens with me. Maybe I want to bring my 85, coming back to you. Maybe I want to bring my 85 in my, 28-70 if I wanted to. I'm going to put this here, and I know it sounds crazy, but I can easily put this on top of that just to show you how deep this bag is. I just put 2 lenses on top of each other. I don't even know if that's technically right. All right, am I causing damage? I don't know. Either way, it can close down. And that's the main thing I wanted, is to be able to have a bag that was deep enough to be able to do something like that. So now, all right, please don't come and kill me, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 areas for lenses. Why do you need that many lenses? I don't know. I don't know what's happening on these shoots with me. Just never know. All right, but either way, love this camera bag, and hopefully that gives you a glimpse of how I go about creating. Obviously, I didn't even tell you about, the things that I bring with me, like extra tripods, like my SmallRig Freeblazer or Cycler, and sometimes I have my DJI Ronin. It's other things that goes into this, and of course, sometimes a job just requires something like this. Sometimes you got to bring out the big guns every once in a while. And what's cool about this camera bag also, and this is kind of why it marketed it to me, this video is getting so much longer than I expected, is that I can take this Sony FX6 and it's deep enough where I can take this and I can travel with this bag. Say for instance, I'm just doing like a video job and maybe I don't need an extra photo camera. I can break this down. I can put all of these pieces into this bag and no problem if I wanted to with an extra camera. The way they marketed this bag, specifically this insert, was they had a C70 and a 1DX Mark III, I think that was in the bag. It could have been a 5D Mark IV. Either way, it was 2 very big camera bodies and a bunch of SSDs from, of course, the Lacy Rugged SSDs. This is going to be a long video to edit. Long-winded like somebody's pastor, boy. Either way, I hope this video has been somewhat valuable to you. Everything that is featured in this video will be in the description below, including a link to this bag setup to give you a glimpse of it. It is, I think, about $550 for the full setup, including, the large backpack, including the large insert. Just wanted to let you know that. But that is, the standard cost, I think, for a good camera backpack when you're professionally doing this at this level, when we're making this type of money and spending the money on this type of gear. Please like, comment, subscribe to your boy, and I will see you all in the next video. I love y'all.